This is Stories of the Hope, a podcast by Mission of Hope. I'm your host, Benson Gregory. We have two special guests this week. This is a very unusual show for us. They are the Barnes sisters. It is Chesnie and Lexie Barnes. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me this week.
Thanks
Thank
for
you for having
having
us.
us.
You guys are scholars, recipients of the Mission of Hope Scholarship. You're going to Berea College here in Kentucky. And there's a lot of unusual in there that we need to unpack. And I'm still trying to wrap my head around a little bit of it. And that is that you both are scholars. You both got the scholarship. Obviously, you graduated in the same year, being that you're twins. So that in itself is unusual. You told me, Chesney, that students from the same school get the scholarship, let alone the fact that siblings would get the scholarship. Take us through the scholarship process for people who don't know. How does the scholarship process work? What did you have to do to qualify? Did they come to you? Did you go to them? Just take me down that path.
Yeah, I mean, for me and sis, it's been quite a few years since the application process, because we're going on our last year being Mission of Hope scholars. From what I can remember, it was a pretty general application process. Me and sis grew up receiving benefits of Mission of Hope. So we went to a little elementary school called Smokey Mountain Elementary, and every Christmas and Good Friday and the holidays, they would come and bring gifts for us and teach us about the mission of Christ and would give us, little baggies and little special gifts in our region. And so we knew about Mission of Hope from a very early age. And when we got to high school our senior year, we noticed they had a scholarship for typically low income, rural individuals. And so we kind of just, I think we did a personal statement. And after that, the next round was interviews. And then after that, we were recipients of the scholarship.
That is cool. Lexi, do you remember anything in particular about your interview for the scholarship?
Yeah, I remember that it was a individual kind of process, so everyone who had applied and got passed on would have like I think around 30 minutes to talk with some people who were on the committee, and they would just ask questions about like your background and certain things that you talked about within your personal statement, and you could like grow with it and what you were planning on using the scholarship for if you got it. And is a lot of questions about who you are and what your experience is and what you would do with the with if you were to get the scholarship. And it was really great time. I remember laughing and talking, and it was super fun because we were also both getting interviewed at different times. So uh they'd be like, "Oh, well, I heard from Chesney that you guys were this," or, "Oh, I heard from your essays that you guys had this happen," and talk about that. And yeah, I think we didn't necessarily think it was going to be a package deal, but we got lucky in that regard.
Are you two competitive?
Very, yeah.
I would
We're
think
Yes.
so.
very competitive against each other too. I mean, we would have been happy either one of us received it. So, but we were
Sure.
maybe a little bitterness would have been there.
So I was wondering if there was any competition between any trash talk in the background. Fun and all good spirited, of course, but a little trash talk on the side about I'm going to get it, you're not.
Um, Maybe a little bit at the time, but I think we both kind of had the mindset that no matter who gets it, we'll be happy. We actually, I feel like both of us were like, because we knew our opponents, who also got accepted and was going to the interview. So we're like, man, they're really strong applicants. We don't know if either one of us will get it.
So you guys grew up in a Mission of Hope school, you said. So you guys was that from pre-K all the way up, or how long were you a recipient of Mission of Hope at Christmas and stuff?
Sis, do you go?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so our elementary school was pre-K through 8th grade. And the whole time that we went to Smoky Mountain, they would come every single year. Um, and it was like the best day of school. Like everyone, even when I was in 8th, it was just as exciting in pre-K as it was when I was in 8th grade. We were always like, "Oh my gosh, today's Mission of Hope Day. We cannot wait to see them and say hello and see all the things that they have for us." And it was always a really, really great day when they would come.
Talk to me a little bit, if you would, kind of an off the wall question. I have debates with my friends all the time about the importance of domestic missions. I'm a big, firm believer that doing stuff here in even our home state or in the U.S. is super important. There's a certain mentality of, we have enough stuff here. You guys have heard of Jesus. You don't really need somebody packing up and coming to see you and bringing you toys and telling you about Jesus. From your perspective, how life changing, how important, how significant was it that people were taking time out of their lives to come and see you every year?
Yeah, I think for us, it made us feel special, especially because we felt, you know, obviously growing up, we were kind of aware of our socioeconomic status, qualified as low income, and so of course, we went to a very, very small school, and so we couldn't believe that this was happening. That they picked us out of every. We felt so special, and I really do feel that it's very important to invest in the communities, and especially, in the Appalachian region amongst, low-income rural communities. It's very important to give back to those communities. I know for me, that's a big part of what I'd like to continue on, is giving back to my community that has served me my entire life.
Lexi, do you have a take on that?
Yeah, I agree with everything my sister said. I think that especially we didn't realize how big of an impact it was. Like um at the beginning of the year they would come and they would give us school supplies and like basic hygiene
Hygienes.
products.
Mhm.
And it was at the time we didn't realize how much it helped, because we obviously weren't aware a lot of like the income we were bringing in or anything like that. But I know that it not only made us feel good, but also helped support our parents and our family as well. So it was always, like I said, it was always the best day when they would come. We were always so excited to see them.
Did you ever wonder why? Did it cross your mind as a kid why these people are investing all this time in us?
I mean, I think that we always, I think sis and I, we always had this way of like believing in things that like Santa Claus, for example. We believed in Santa Claus for a lot longer than I would ever want to admit. But um and if you're listening to the podcast and you think Santa's real, it's because he is. He is real.
Absolutely.
But we we always thought that like um these people just wanted to see us happy, and that was something that we also wanted. We always would talk with like Santa Claus would come in and we'd be like, "Oh my gosh, Santa's here." And it was always just like it wasn't necessarily like it didn't feel like reality for me at least. Like I felt like it was always like a fun, magical thing that was going on. Like Santa Claus sent them here and now we're talking about God, and we went to church our whole lives, and so it was something like, "Oh, this is like our two worlds are colliding and it's awesome." And so I think we always felt very special that it was happening, but I personally, and obviously until I got older, I was like, this is a magical thing that's happening just for us. Like it was, yeah.
That is very cool. I appreciate you sharing that. So you guys decided that well, you got the scholarships, obviously. I mean, big spoiler there. That's why you're here. You got the scholarships. And then were you headed to Berea College already? Was that already in the plans?
Yeah, I believe when we accepted the scholarship, we had both already been accepted to Berea at that time.
And Chesney, you are what? What are you majoring in?
Environmental science and geology.
Okay. And Lexi, you're a theater major?
Theater major and musical theater minor.
Oh, very cool. Major and minor. That's cool. So tell me why you picked Berea College. What was it about Berea that stood out to you?
Well, for me, actually, sis was the whole reason I applied. I had never heard of Berea. When she first told me, I was like, "You're being scammed. This is not the type of this is not college. Like this is fake." And so I was trying to tell her, "This is a scam. They're not. they're not actually gonna not you have can't not pay tuition, like, obviously, it's not a thing that happens. And so when she was accepted, I could see my family was a little worried that she'd be going out of state for college. Because I had totally different plans, like maybe Carson Newman or Walter State Community College, go to UT Knoxville after that. But when she got accepted, I was like, well, I might as well just apply or try to go for it. And when I applied and then was accepted, I think sis might have been a little bitter. She was like, "This was a thing. This was my thing. We've been the same person our whole life. This is my thing." Um, but I think she was the whole reason because I think anywhere that she is, I really want to be. No matter where she is, it's home for me. So I think that that was a huge thing for me in my college applicant process was my sister was the determining factor.
Or you couldn't let her go out of state by herself. I mean, that's ridiculous, right?
Absolutely not. All the way to Kentucky? What? Can't
Yeah, no
trust those
kidding.
Kentuckians.
From
Uh,
from a small town to a larger small town.
yeah.
I love that your younger sister's leading the way. Lexi, why Berea? Why did you pick Berea?
Yeah, so I actually so I had gotten an email from them my senior year of college, I mean high school, excuse me. And one of my friends, he was like, "Oh, Berea, my older sister went to Berea." Um, because I was like, "This can't be real." Obviously, at first you're like, "This free college, that has to be like," obviously we thought it was a scam. Um, but my friend, he was like, "No, my sister went there and it's real and like it's actually a thing." And I was like, "Oh, interesting." And so I started getting into contact with them and talking to their admissions people and also my theater teacher at the time, because I was always planning on going to Walter State. I really didn't think that college was going to be like the biggest thing for me. I thought I would just like go to New York or, try to pursue acting in a different way. And so college was never like something that I really was like, oh, I don't have to like think about this. But then when I started talking to Maria and the things that they had to offer me, I was like, oh, this sounds really good. And my theater teacher was like, I've been to Bria plays. I know the staff there. Like, it's such a good theater program. And I was like, okay, I believe you. Um, and then I applied. I got accepted. I came and I toured the campus and stayed the night here. And I got to tour with a student that went there. She ended up being one of my good friends when I came in. But I toured with her and got to go to her classes and see what her day looked like, and it was just something about the campus that really was like it was it was not different from home necessarily. It was like slightly different, but I think it was just different enough to where I was like, yes, I want to do this. And yeah, it was a mixture of the theater program and the not paying college tuition and being out of state. I was like, I didn't want to be in Tennessee anymore. So it was a double all the things.
Now, Berea is a work study school, right? Am I saying
Yes.
that right?
Yeah.
Which means you don't pay tuition. It means you're required to have a job and work on campus. So for anybody who's listening is like, well, what did they need the scholarship for if you didn't have to pay tuition? There's other expenses in college than tuition. There's a lot of expenses in college. Plus, you get more than just money with the scholarship too, right? Who wants to talk about what all comes with the scholarship and what you're using the money and the other stuff for?
Yeah, so, our scholar so Berea is kind of weird when it comes to outside scholarships, which is what Mission of Hope Scholarship is technically called. And so basically how Berea works is I personally won't receive that fund, but that fund is allotted towards any type of academic pursuit, which is also including housing, meals, things like that. And so for what my Pell Grant won't cover, my Mission of Hope Scholar and other outside scholarships and other Pell Grant funds is substituted into that gap. And so me and sis actually usually do get a refund, which is where, the amount I was owed is covered in full and a little extra. So usually typically every semester we get a little bit back, which is always very helpful. Um and so yeah, besides the funds, we were also given laptops as well as printers. Rice's printers, yeah. It's been so long. I mean, I think my printer's still at my house because thankfully, Berea does have printers, but when I'm at home, I can use my printer. Um, and for as far as the laptop goes, that was another thing that I was worried about going into college because obviously we're in the era of technology, and so it's not very common that you're going to be doing things pen and paper or anything like that. And so I was kind of like, "Oh my gosh, what am I gonna do?" I might have had a little Chromebook or something, but, I think it might explode with, like, all the, emails I get a day from Berea College. But, I think that that laptop was just another concern that was eased because of Mission of Hope.
And there's no way, I mean, laptops are expensive, and there's no way you could have gone to school without one probably, I wouldn't think now.
No way, no way.
No way.
Yeah.
And just,
Mhm,
the world is on the computer now, so I just don't think
mhm.
that would be possible. So that's an amazing gift. That's a great blessing just in and of itself, isn't it?
It is,
Mhm.
yes.
Do you guys have mentors?
We do. We have the same mentor, Judith Harvey.
And how's that experience been for you?
Does you wanna speak on it a little bit?
Yeah, I think Judith is one of the best people on this planet. For one, she's the kindest woman I've met in a really long time, and it's been really awesome because, every semester we get to talk with her about, oh, like, how is this going? How are things going for you? How's your grades going? And then also a few times she's came to some of the events that we've had. So Mountain Day is Berea College's own personal holiday. So Mountain Day is basically where there's this hike called the Pinnacles, and everyone goes and hikes the pinnacle, and we see the sunrise up on top of the mountain, and then we come down the mountain, and then at the like valley section we have like all the clubs set up, we have performances by the music and dance ensembles, and it's just like a super super fun day full of like community. And Judith has had the opportunity to come and spend Mountain Day with us, and she's been to some of my plays, and it's been really awesome feeling like it's easy with Mission of Hope to kind of feel like disconnected from it. For me, at least, I feel like, um, you send your grades in, you check in a little bit, and then you'll receive your scholarship as long as you're doing all the requirements. And but Judith is kind of that bridge of like, hey, like there's the scholarship, there's you, and then there's Judith that kind of like is connects it all together. And it's been awesome, I think, having that like extra support.
Yeah, and Judith, she makes the best banana bread ever in the world, and
It's
every time
true.
she came to Berea, she would come, I swear to you, like 6 loaves of banana bread, and for, like, a week solid, I mean banana bread every day. I
That's
mean, is
awesome.
it good for my health? No, but is it good for my heart? Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I mean, we spent time in her home, and she's just really made us feel so welcomed. She's really become like a grandmother figure to me, honestly, yeah.
So, Lexi, you tried to get away from home, you tried to get away from family, you ended up bringing family with you and finding new family when you got there.
Very true.
That sounds like it has been a really awesome experience for you.
Yes, most definitely. I think at first I kind of wanted to be like a rebel or whatever. Get out of state, have my own thing, be on this campus, whatever. Um, but once my sister joined me and once I had that extra community, I realized how deeply I needed it. I think that like that's an example for me in my life where like God has a plan that's different than yours always. And, my plan was being this independent, don't need anybody, gonna do my own thing type of person. But God was like, actually, you're gonna need your sister. Don't ask now, but you'll realize. And I mean, there's been so many points in my college career that I couldn't be more thankful for my sister being here as well as the support from Mission of Hope because genuinely, there's a lot of things I couldn't do without that.
That's awesome. Any advice that you guys have for any kids who are in high school right now? Maybe sophomores, juniors, seniors, they're struggling a little bit. They're not sure that college is in their future. They're maybe thinking, why even bother applying for the Mission of Hope scholarship? Any advice for them at all?
Say for me that for one, applying to the Mission of Hope scholarship really gives you a sense of place. I think that you see kids who come from similar backgrounds as you. You get to talk with them and live shared experience together. And as for college, I would say don't knock it till you try it. You may think that you're not an academic or the academic world is a little scary from the outside, a little daunting, if you will, but it really has opened my eyes to so many opportunities and opened so many doors for me. I mean, this past summer, I was given the amazing opportunity to go to UH Manoa and Oahu and do research, and I would have never been able to had I not gone to Berea College and made aware of the opportunities that are out there just waiting for you. Um, and I wouldn't ever put yourself down or say that you're not good at school or that you're just not cut out for this type of thing because I do think you are, and everyone, whether that be in a collegiate experience or more of like a technical college, I think that those experiences will make their way for you. And never doubt your abilities because you know yourself, and even if you don't think you do, you do. And you'll look back and be like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that." And I did it. I'm proud of myself for doing it.
And God has a plan for you, right?
Mhm.
Lexi?
Yeah. Yeah, I was one of those people, honestly, like, one of my main reasons for even wanting to try to go to college was for my family, it wasn't for myself, it was for the fact that my family didn't go to college and I needed to be different or, like, prove that it's possible, but, like, in a career like mine that's, like, entertainment or acting, theatrical or artistic, it's so easy to fall into that, like, "I don't need college, like, I can do my own thing, I can freelance, I can whatever." And yes, that's true, but I think you should try college, yes, and I think applying for the Mission of Hope scholarship will make that process seem a lot less daunting because there's people to support you, there's obviously financial support, and it just makes it a lot easier to, like, chunk. Because honestly, college can seem like a lot from like, in high school, you think that, like, "Oh, high school right now is bad," or "High school right now is crazy and difficult. I can't even possibly think about doing college." But it's really a different rhythm, and I think that once you can get in the hang of things with the Mission of Hope scholarship, it'll help a lot. That's Iris, my sister's, ESA.
Iris needs love.
Iris just says, "Please, I need some attention."
Before we started recording, it was Iris was like, "It's time for pets. We need
Yes,
attention."
she loves her mom. She
That
wants everything to do with her.
oh, that's awesome that you guys get to have pets with you while you're away at college too.
Yeah, you can apply to have an ESA, emotional support animal, or oh my gosh, I can't think about it. What's the name? Other dogs that are trained. Uh,
A service animal of some
a
kind?
service
Just
animal, yes. Um, as long as you apply and it's also a pretty lengthy application process, but yeah, they're like, yes, you can do it. So sis was able to get Iris, even though she's dramatic, but she's good, emotionally supportive.
I'm sorry, the dog is dramatic or your sister's oh, she's back, never mind. Don't
Both.
an no, no,
Both of them are.
So sorry, so sorry.
you're fine.
Iris is a lot more dramatic than me. I would never bark out loud just because a mailman is present.
I love it. All right, well, so what's next for you guys? Graduation is looming, you're seniors, you're gonna be out of there in a couple of months. What's the next step? Where are you going?
For me, I'm considering graduate studies, graduate school, drama queen, I tell you, the drama. But I'm thinking graduate school. I'm not sure if I want to go for a master's or a PhD yet. I'm planning to study climate studies or climate science. My main goal in life is to really work potentially with nonprofits, working with disadvantaged, vulnerable communities, especially to the threat of climate change. So I really want to give back to, I mean, obviously, our hometown was one that was totally wrecked by Hurricane Helene. And so I think that part of that process is to educate people about climate change and the reasons why these types of weather events happen, but also be there to, support that community. I want to be in the ground, getting dirty and helping all the people who can't really do it alone. Everyone needs a support system, and I would love to be that for the community that I hold so dear to my heart as an Appalachian person, and as well as island communities like Hawaiian, which me and my sister are Hawaiian. And so I really want to give back to those two communities that I really hold so dear to my heart, but don't know what that specific path is yet, but something along those lines.
That's awesome. Lexi?
Yeah, I think it never gets easier to like think about what's next or what's on the table. Like I used to say in high school, I'll get to college, I'll have it figured out. Everything it's not true. Whoever tells you that, they're not telling the truth to you. But as long as you have a good support system within yourself, within the Lord, everything will work out. Everything will be fine. For me, so this summer, it was so funny. Sis was in Hawaii, I was in New York City. I went to New York and I studied a conservatory acting school. And their Michael Howard studios, they're the best. I had the funnest time of my life. And also learned so much. And so my next step is to basically try to find a good internship or possibly a little work, get some work in, and then go back to New York City and do their 1 year conservatory, which is a year of study, and then followed with a showcase in front of agents and managers that you could possibly get representation. Um, a lot's up in the air, I think, for both Sis and I, but I think we have a clear idea of um, what we want, what our I think honestly, the biggest thing that Mission Hope has helped me to do is to have a very strong core value. And I think that's something that everyone should do and should have. And I think college will help you with that. It'll help you find your core values, the thing that you want to pursue, and like for Sis, giving back to communities, nonprofit work. That's something that she would have never thought about had she not had this perfect example of Mission Hope right in front of her. And I think yeah, I think it's great, and I'm excited to see what's next for me. I don't even know for myself, but there's something there.
You're keeping your heart and your mind open and let God
Exactly.
lead, right?
Exactly.
I've always thought it was kind of absurd that we expect 18-year-olds to know what they're going to do with the rest of their lives.
Very true.
And
I'm
I'm like, I mean,
22 and I don't know.
we've seen so many careers that have disappeared just in the past even 10 years. I mean, AI coming on the way that it has, technology changing the way that it has like eliminated jobs.
Very
Like whole
true.
career fields don't exist anymore. So seeing locking yourself into something for the rest of your life, I think is crazy. But I love the way you guys are both approaching it. And I think, Lexi, I think you said it earlier, but Chesney, you definitely addressed it, was the whole concept of giving back and going back to where you came from and trying to return a little bit. And Lexi, I could see you with some theater experience under your belt, go back and teach some theater classes, little summer workshops, things
Well,
like
yeah,
that, and
I
inspire
think
people.
that would be great. I think the people at home that my original theater teacher, Becky Davidson, she there's people in your life that you meet that literally change the trajectory of your life. It could be you just meet in passing, say hello, and never see again. It could be people that you meet and you know for the rest of your life. But these people in these small communities, that's the most beautiful thing is how close knit you are and how the domino effect of like everyone that you will ever meet in your life will make you be who you are now. Um, and I just think that if you go back to where you were from, as like, for example, when I went to New York, coming back home, it changed my perspective on home. And what that looks like and how you can help people through gaining outside experience in different ways. So, sis, I think going to Hawaii this summer changed your outlook on home in Appalachia and the parallels and the similarities there.
Yeah, I think I speak for a lot of people who have been like separated from their cultural home place, but going back to my cultural home was unlike any feeling. It's like I had been missing something my whole life that I was reconnected with. And when I came back home, my family and having that, I have those Appalachian murals, can't beat 'em out of me, I swear. And so, I was able to speak in my Southern accent, which, I did that, you know, I did that in Hawaii and they were like, "Wow, you're real country. You're real country." I was like, "I think I speak not such a strong Southern accent compared to some people I know, but it is beautiful. If anyone's watching this and you have a thick accent, just do it. Just speak in your accent because it's beautiful and I love it.
Own it. It is beautiful.
Own it, own it. Don't let anyone shame you for that.
Own
Uh,
whoever you
it's
are.
you. It's you, it's part of you, and it's beautiful, and you're beautiful to
You're made in
every
God's image, and that's what's beautiful about you and your soul and the person that you are. That's the most beautiful thing you can offer anyone.
Amen. Gosh, I want to ask you something else, but that's the perfect thing to end it on. Ladies, thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much for having us.
It has been so awesome to spend some time getting to know you. It is Chesney and Lexie, and you're the Barnes sisters. You were the recipients of the Mission of Hope Scholarship, and you guys just have to stay in touch with Mission of Hope. First of all, let us know what's going on with you as you grow up. Lexie, if you become somebody famous, you're our celebrity spokesperson.
That I'm okay with that. I will be speaking before you even ask me to. I promise.
There you go. All right, ladies, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Benson Gregory. I am your host and producer. Becky Mills is our associate producer. And if you could like, subscribe, and share, we would so appreciate it. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.